We're gonna plant a big blueberry today. But whether you're planting a big one or a small one, concept is the same. And we're gonna put it right next to this St. John's wort, which should be blooming yellow soon. And it's on a wall that's south facing, so it gets a lot of heat, a lot of sun. Make big fat berries. Yeah. We got some bone meal, and bone meal is actually from the bones of animals, freeze dried and ground up into a powder. Put it around the bottom of the hole. Stimulates the root growth so that they can enter the surrounding soil. You've probably heard that you should dig the hole twice as big as the pot that the plant comes in. That's written on most pots. The reason for this is so you give it some fresh soil around the outside that has no roots in it, and it will grow its roots in quicker. So that's about it. So we're gonna move this guy out of the way. Oh, it's heavy. Got some basic black earth too. Wheel. Got our location already marked for the pot. Now, you don't actually have to go deeper than the pot. So we're going to go about 10 inches today. But you definitely have to go wider than the pot. The reason you don't go deeper than the pot is plants that you buy at the nursery generally planted at the right height within their pot. This one seems pretty good. So you want to make sure that the top of this soil is at the top of this soil, so it doesn't end up going deeper than it should. And then when soil touches the trunk around the bottom, that can lead to rot on the trunk, which is not good. Rot is never good. Rot is a bad thing. Okay, we'll get rid of that. Now, this is my favorite shovel. Long, narrow, penetrates easily. It's also in perfect conditions. The soil is nice and moist. Alright. Now, this hole, I have loosened the bottom, even though it's not deeper than this. I've still loosened the soil at the bottom. Do you want to see in here? Well, alright. You're saying yes over there. I don't know what you're saying, but I'm going to show you anyway. Because you're probably curious. Oh, rock. Okay. Come on. So it's about as deep as the pot, and it's not quite double, but hey, I'm lazy. Whatever. Okay, put you back down. Tiny tripod. Okay, so now soil on the bottom is loose, so the roots have a good start in there. And now we put bone meal in. Now you can't overdo bone meal, but at a certain point you're just wasting your money. So I'm gonna just do like 2 big handfuls, mostly in the bottom, but also scattered around the edges. Oh, little toss. Okay. I would normally not put that much bone meal in a hole, but this guy's special. You see all the berries on there? It's just covered in berries. They're gonna get a lot of fruit out of this summer. This summer. Because that just came from the nursery, and it was next to a bunch of other blueberries. And so it's been pollinated. I should say cross-pollinated. Which is ideal. Now, blueberries will produce fruit alone, but they produce a much better yield if they're next to another variety of blueberry. Not the same variety. It has to be a different variety. Okay, here we go. Now this is gonna be a... You're gonna watch me put this... I mean... Yeah, fuck this up. Okay, here we go. So this roof all broke up. But that's okay. It's terrible soil anyway. So we're gonna replace that with good stuff. That was heavy. Okay, so we're gonna lean this back a little bit. You know what? I think we need to rotate it so it's flatter against this garage. That's not right. Let me just step back and see. Oh yeah. Oh, that's pretty. Okay. So then we'll keep this out of the way. I forgot to mention, when you put in the bow meal, you just kind of tease it with your fingers a little bit so it's not just on the surface of the bottom of the hole. That's like a 1 second job. So I'm gonna have to convince the wanks to get another blueberry, but I think when they see this one, they're gonna say, oh, sure, another. Okay, here's the whole bag of soil. Nice fresh start. One of the things that you gotta remember when you're planting a new plant is, first of all, make sure that the trunk is not covered in dirt. Okay? If the trunk is covered in dirt, then there's a good chance you're gonna cause some rot of the base, and then that will impede the growth of the plant. Okay, so that seems to be the right level to me. That's important with a lot of plants. Some don't care, but most do. Okay, so another big problem when you're planting a plant, especially a big one like this, is air pockets. If there's air pockets in there, they can cause that entire area of the roots to die. And that's especially true in roses. Roses can't stand any air pockets. So once I've sort of hand patted this down to the level that I think it should be, then I'm going to take my foot and go around there, all the way around the outside, using all of my weight to compress the soil. There we go. I can see a big divot has formed here. Okay, so we're going to fill that in a bit more. Okay. Flash forward to July 20th. Blueberry is looking pretty healthy. Maybe 300, maybe 400 blueberries on it. Some of them just about ready for eating. I think these guys could be picked very soon. Look at that. Clusters and clusters. Beautiful. And below it is its companion, which is now this blueberry is interesting because it's actually 3 different types. If you look closely at the bottom, there's 3 different stems down there, and each one is a different type of blueberry. So hopefully one of those 3 will be the right companion for this big one, because cross-pollination is how you get a big yield. Okay, so lots of blueberries if you have a second blueberry plant. And if you can find a triple like this, then you're pretty much guaranteed a good harvest. We'll see next year. Meanwhile, behind that is St. John's wort, just finishing blooming gorgeous yellow flowers.